execoms na nakaupo para paimbestigahan natin itong 51 million and 4.2 billion.
Yes, the ComSec is instructed to do so.
From your office can answer this. 100,000 pesos each were given to MILF surrenderies. Hindi po ata pantay. Why sa MNLF 45,000 lamang allocated for its surrenderies? Bakit magkaiba po? Sa MILF 100,000, MNLF 45,000.
Sir, actually, sir, yung nasa natin, yung sa 100,000, sa MILF, dahil kasi meron sir ang decommissioning. Yung sa MNLF po, sir, is stenciling. Wala pa po yung talagang decommissioning. Because on our final peace agreement with the MNLF, wala po tayong provisions for decommissioning. So yung gagawin po natin, yung initially yung 45,000, considering na according to RA 20 of the final peace agreement, those who will not be integrated, which should be given tinatawag natin socio-economic package. And basically, ang gusto nga namin po, pare-pareho po yung ibigay. Ang intention po talaga natin is 100,000 din po ibigay natin sa MNLF. Initially lang na ibigay natin yun because ang ano pa lang natin is only stenciling pa po ang ginawa po natin, Your Honor.
Okay. Stenciling, Secretary.
Yes, sir. Kasi yun nga po ang ano natin. Kasi ito po yung nagiging problema po natin sa final peace agreement.
Can you please enlighten this committee what stenciling is all about?
Yung stenciling po ng firearms nila, kinukuha po ng mali po sir, nire-record po natin kasi yung part po yun, ito part po ng natin yan na gusto po natin ma-recover po lahat ang mga loose firearms. So isa po ito yung mga tinatawag natin na parang ating proseso para at least kukunin natin yung firearms ng ating brother MNLF, and then stencil po natin, and then we have an agreement na mayroon tinatawag tayong firearms control.
Yeah, as a follow-up question to that,
Before that, Send.Tulfo would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Bato de la Rosa.
okay. Yung mga sinusurrender na firearms, 4,000 and all, right? Yan po ba ay niregister? Meron po ba kayong database where those firearms are registered? And I would like to follow up also dun sa request ng kausap po mga taga-military na dapat yung serial numbers, if they are logged in sa database ninyo, dapat accessible yan sa PNP at NBI para kung halimbawa nagkaroon ng operations yung mga grupong yon, they can cross-check doon sa mga na-recover nila ng mga baril versus doon po sa mga sinurender ng mga baril. So ito ba mga baril na sinurender 4,000, are they logged in sa isang database?
Sir, nandito po yung ating Vice Chair ng Independent Decommissioning Body in the person of Mr. Hovland from Norway. Sila po ang nag-ano po ng proseso.
Mr. Hovland, the firearms, the 4,000 firearms, how are they being handled once they were surrendered to the government?
Yeah.
What
Mr.
kind of
Chair,
accounting do we do?
Your Honor, we in the independent decommissioning body, we receive and decommission the firearms. We register them. We do a function test of the firearms. So all the firearms we receive are operational, and then we store them according to the agreement. We also take in the registration number of the weapon, and according to the agreement between the parties, that is to be confidential for the independent decommissioning body.
Can we have records of those firearms that were surrendered, the serial numbers, and are they stored in a database where it will be accessible to the PNP and NBI and even the military? Like I said earlier, if there's an operation conducted by these authorities and in the process they were able to recover firearms in those operations, at least they can make some cross-checking to ensure that none of those firearms they recovered during their operations came from the weapons that were surrendered from the decommissioning process.
So for now, we are bound by our mandate given to us by the two parties, the government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. And in the terms of reference of the IDB, it says that all information, data, or opinions gathered, generated or exchanged in connection with the work of IDB are confidential and may not be divulged to an organization, individual, or entity. But if the parties would, of course, agree that we should share that, we could be open to do so. But for now, we're bound by our mandate.
So right now, it's confidential, so you cannot divulge to us the firearms. What kind of firearms are those? The serial numbers? That's confidential? You mean the Filipino people doesn't have the right to know?
So
Sir?
So Your Honor, we in the IDB, when we finished each phase of decommissioning, we send a report to our principal, which is a two-piece panels.
I understand, sir. I understand. I know where you're coming from. I know what you're saying, but the thing is, there was more than 2 point something billion spent for this program. In exchange, they have to surrender their weapons. And I just want those weapons accounted for. First, where are they stored? And then second, how are they being handled? And then third, they should be in a database, like I said, for the third time, which will be accessible to everybody, especially the PNP, the NBI, the AFP, in case they need to check those database, those serial numbers of those firearms. Then they can always go to that computer and look it for themselves.
So, Your Honor, I understand your question. I understand your need to do so. I really do. So we have our mandate now, and I can also answer what we do with the weapons. We store them in a secure storage area, and then according to the agreement, after the fourth phase, or when the parties agree, we will put them beyond use.
So even a video, you can show us a video or even pictures of those weapons?
So we had,
Still confidential?
no, we had two large events in Cotabato, where we had display of all the firearms that we received for the phase, witnessed by.
Can you show us some videos at least or pictures? Because 4,000 is a lot of firearms, and I just want to make sure that those firearms are really well kept and being protected.
Yeah. So, Your Honor, we're very glad to submit pictures and videos of the weapons, so you can see that.
So right now you cannot submit to us the serial numbers of those firearms. It's not stored in any database because you said it's confidential unless both parties agree to divulge those kind of information to us, to the Filipino people. Is that what you're saying, sir?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ito po galing sa military na kausap ko last night. And maybe Mr. Hovland would like to answer this question or mag-answer dito. Because during the last hearing, you did mention that there were combatants who surrendered, but they weren't able to surrender their firearms because they said it's personal, it's for personal use. Ngayon kung personal use yun, chinek niyo ba yung serial number to make sure na yun ay license, may LTAP?
Yun po ang next na proseso po, Your Honors, because yung ano po natin, yung decommission of the combatants, there is a separate process. So yung ano po natin, we never term them surrender. We term them decommission.
Yeah, nga po sir. Kasi when they came to the government to get that 100,000 cash allowance, supposed to be they should be turning over their firearms. But they did not because sabi nga, meron akong baril dito, personal use ko ito. So kung personal use mo yan, dapat may permit yan. Chinek mo ba yung mga, andun na rin lang siya hawak-hawak yung baril niya. So sana kinuha niyo yung serial number, pinicturan, and then gumawa kayo ng cross-check sa ating PNP, FEO, Firearms and Explosive Office, para masiguro na yun ay lisensyado, para masiguro din na hindi magamit yun kung saan-saang purpose.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, yun ang proseso po natin, sir, na initially yung sa decommission of combatants is separating na yung pagka nag-proseso po tayo ng decommission of combatants, we gave the 100,000 for the purpose of the socio-economic, not for the purpose of turning up the firearms. Hindi po yun naman po, ang ano po natin po is meron tayong proseso din ng decommissioning ng agreed 7,000. Yun po ang ginagawa po natin. And then later on, there is kung makikita niyo po yung sa aming ano po, yung we have still a lot of programs in parallel with the decommissioning of firearms. Number one is yung all small arms and light weapons management. Ito po yung sinasabi natin na i-stencil po natin, isa-isa po yung lahat po na yun.
Mentioned to me yesterday, nung pumunta ko sa office ko, tinanong ko what kind of firearms ang mga na-surrender. Sabi niyo po sa akin, carbine, may mga carbine, may mga garan. M16, meron pang Thompson. Diba pang kafgulan po yun? Alam ko, MLF, they're well financed and they have modern weaponries.
Yung Thompson, sir, konti lang po talaga yun.
Thompson. So ibig sabihin may mga MLF na Thompson ginagamit. Ano po yung diplato?
Sir, actually, sir, kasi makita natin, 1976 po kasi yung ibang mga combatants natin. Those were the firearms that they are
Meron din pong carbine.
Yes, sir, ganun po.
Di ba yung carbine, panahon pa natin ng hook balahap yun. But anyway, may carbine. So siguro po, sa next hearing, give us a list of those firearms. Sabi nga ni Senator Amy, siyempre, kung ano man yung agreement meron between the decommission body and other groups, well, that should not supersede the law of the land of the Republic. So you should be worried about that. So next hearing, you should provide us with that information that Senator Amy was asking, kahit sa executive session man lang.
Yes, yes, sir. We will provide, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, dalawang question na Senator Amy. December 31, 2022, kasi binanggit sa akin kahapon yung Commission on Audit. Sabi mo, very strict ang Commission on Audit nga. Kayo talagang binabantayan. So, agad-agad na-check po ako sa Commission on Audit. Meron pong 4.2 billion na audit suspension, and then 51.8 million disallowance. So pag sinabing disallowance, pinasosoli po. So unahin po natin dun sa disallowance. Ano po itong 51 million na pinasosoli po ng Commission Audit?
51 million po nito, sir. Na-explain na po namin to sa COA na ang remaining balance lang po is more or less 8 million.
Na-explain.
Na po yun. Kung magkasano po.
Naisoli na po.
Naisoli na po yun.
Eight
Then
na po.
yung 4 billion po yun, sir, is yung po yung previous pamana project po, hindi po sa amin po yun panahon namin during the previous sir.
Pero were you able to explain it properly
Yes,
to the Commission on Audit?
Actually, sir, we were able to expedite yung compliance with the auditor. So ito pong
So, sorry, sir. So, parang tayo mamalito. So, nasolid na yung iba dun sa 51 million mo na 51.8. Nasolid na po yung iba, yung meron pang 4 million hindi pa nasusoli.
yes, sir, meron pa po tayong proseso na
Bakit po hindi nasolid na lang ang buo?
binabayaran po ng po sir ng mga tinatawag nating yung mga SDOs na meron pong accountability.
Pwede po paki-explain ano po yung 51 million na pinasosoli? Bakit po pinasoli?
Ito po yung po sir, nung previous administration po namin sir na kaya yung,
Before you.
opo, before po sa akin po yan po sir. Actually nung po yun, 2017, 2018, 2019.
Same thing with this 4.2 billion.
Yes po. Wala pa po ako po nung po yun, 2018, 2017 po yun.
Siguro, Mr. Chair, sa next hearing, patawag natin yung
Actually, we already, marami po na kami pong ipinasa po sa ombudsman pertaining that matter po, sir.
so meron na pong kaso.
Opo, may mga kaso.
And may we know who are these people na pinahil nyo ng kaso ombudsman? And what happened to the case?
Yung previous execom po at saka back member po ng
Can we get the names?
we will give it to you, Your Honor.
And then, gusto namin malaman yung status ng kaso. sa
Yes, Your
ombudsman.
Honor. Yes,
So
Your Honor.
ongoing pa po ito.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilan po yung nakasuhan dito sa 51 million?
Bali po yung may mga seven charges po kami na naibigay sa ombudsman. And we will give you the details po, Your Honor.
Kasama ho ba dito yung pinalitan nyo na secretary?
Yung mga execom members po.
Execom lang.
Opo.
Okay. Okay. Doon po sa 4.2 billion, sabi niyo po before your term pa ito.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sabi po dito sa record ng Commission on Audit, ito yung mga was it computer? And then yung mga pinabigay nyo sa mga non-government organization, people's organization.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ba't po binigyan natin ng pera yung mga NGOs?
That's why during my term we already removed all this ng mga NGOs po. So ang
Okay.
ginawa po namin immediately we
Kaya nga
terminate
po, bakit po binigyan ng pera ang mga NGOs at saka mga people's organization?
because they're the one also implementing some of the programs sa ating
Ano pong klase mga programs po yun, sir?
normally sir I will give you the details the
Okay.
details.
Kasi sir, that's
Because I'm-
4.2 billion, that's a lot of money. Para ipamigay po natin sa NGOs. And then, can we know ano po yung mga NGOs na yon? Can you identify to us?
We will submit the report.
Okay. At maging po yung people's organization. Ano po itong people's organization? First time ko lang napakinggan to. POs? What are these POs, sir?
We will find out sir.
Yes, sir. Give us a list of the NGOs and then the POs who've been a recipient of this 4.2 billion, because this is a lot of money and this has to be accounted for. That's why you got a suspension from the Commission on Audit.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ko sana na discover po to kung hindi yung binanggit sa akin yesterday na sabi nyo mahigpit sa inyong Commission on Audit. So chinek po namin yung Commission on Audit and bingo, ito po yung nakita namin.
Yes, sir.
So provide us with all these documents, so Mr. Chair. And then siguro patawag din natin yung mga previous execoms na nakaupo para pa-imbestigahan natin itong 51 million and 4.2 billion.
Yes, the Comsec is instructed to do so.